what Catherine said, it really does mean the world that everyone is out here. So I'm going to read you a statement written by Emma Gonzalez, one of the survivors of the Parkland shooting, to start us off. They hate us for smiling. They hate us for crying. They hate us for speaking. They hate us for being alive. They hate us. What's important to remember is that their argument against us is so weak and futile that they have to resort to attacking the people delivering the message. Alyssa Al-Hadeth, 14. Martine Duke Anguiano, 14. Nicholas Doret, 17. Jamie Gutenberg, 14. Luke Hoyer, 15. Cara Luffren, 14. Gina Montalto, 14. Joaquin Oliver, 17. Elena Petty, 14. Meadow Pollock, 18. Helena Ramsey, 17. Alex Schachter, 14. Carmen Schentrup, 16. Peter Wang, 15. Chris Hickson, 49. Aaron Face, 37. Scott Bagel, 35. Maybe you've heard of these names and maybe you haven't. Either way, you're here today because you've heard of their tragedy. And I'm here today because I need you to understand that these people were more than just a tragedy. Before they became part of this movement and a number that you heard on the news, they were people just like everyone here. They were students and teachers who had families and lives, who made mistakes, who slept through their alarms, and who, got into fights with their parents just like any of us do on any other day. And they went to school on February 14th expecting it to just be another day. It used to be that nobody went to school expecting to die there. But the reality is that we are averaging one school shooting every week. Since Columbine, since 1999, when this school shooting epidemic began, over 200 students and educators have lost their lives in the places that they go to learn and to work. Over 100 schools have become graveyards. Hundreds of parents have had to bury their children. We are a part of this Columbine generation. The oldest seniors in FHS were born in 1999. I was born in 1999, which is the year that 15 people lost their lives at Columbine High School. We have all grown up surrounded by this violence. So when I heard about the shooting at Parkland, I was tired and I was numb. I was ready to mourn for a while, to be nervous when I went to school for a couple weeks, and then to ultimately do nothing again. Because this cycle of violence has been going for as long as I've been alive. So why would this shooting change anything? But Parkland was different. This time the survivors didn't just disappear. This time the survivors weren't elementary school students. This time they were loud and they were angry and they made sure everybody knew it. They went on social media and they tore apart the people who told them that they were just kids who didn't know any better. And I watched these students who were just like you and I stand up for what they believed in, and I realized that being numb isn't an option anymore. This violence affects us, our people across the country. So sitting back and doing nothing isn't an option anymore. We can't let the adults handle this because they've failed to do anything for 20 years. I'm gonna switch hands because this one's going numb. It's very cold out. Thank you all for being here. We can't let this become the norm, you guys. I can't sit by and let the kids who come after us grow up surrounded by this culture of violence, because then they'll be numb too, and change will never happen. Ugh. Schools should be safe. The only stress that you guys should have in that building should be about college applications and midterms and that research paper that you put off till the last minute. Sorry, Mr. George. I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling unsafe at school. I'm tired of saying goodbye to my mother every morning and not knowing if she'll ever see me again. I'm tired of listening to this debate as if politics matter when the lives of children are at stake. I am tired, but I refuse to be numb anymore. Except for my hands, I can't feel those. We're here today to honor the dead, to remember them and to know their names so that the sacrifice that they were forced to make will never be forgotten. But we're also here because we want change. We want to fix this problem that affects us and our people, and we can. I know you guys. I know Framingham. The one thing that people always say about us is that we are so incredibly diverse and that there's so much diversity in that school. But I believe that if there's one thing that unites us all, that bridges the gaps that come with diversity, it's that we don't sit back and let other people make decisions for us when it's our lives on the line. This walkout is meant to show the community and the world at large that Framingham High School and students across the country are done sitting back and letting other people make decisions for us. But that message alone isn't enough. In Massachusetts, you can register to vote at 16. How many of you are 16 or over? That means that you can, those of you who raised your hands, can register to vote. And you need to vote, because voting is the only voice that you have in this country of ours, and it's the only way we can make change happen. There's an election in November. How many of you knew that? If we want change to happen, which I know we all do because we're standing out in the cold for a walkout, then we need to vote and you need to register. We're not just a bunch of stupid kids who don't know any better. We're not, being brainwashed by the liberal media to come out here. We deserve better than this, you guys. And we need to make better happen for the kids who come after us. Enough is enough, Framingham. Let's say never again.
Hi everyone. So this is a poem written by Katie Hood, who is a student that goes to a Boston school. So she was not at Parkland. She was not mentally or physically affected by any of the shooting that happened in Parkland. But she still wrote this because we need to change. Bulletproof teen. Run if you can. Hide if you can't. If neither, fight. The fighting isn't to save you. It's to save the next class, the next hall. It's to give them a couple more seconds to get there, to stop it. I am a child, a teenager, but I am also a bulletproof vest. A diversion, a fighting chance for the others. Hope in the form of a distraction. I am blood and flesh, but I need to be Kevlar and fabric. Minimal casualties, minimal children dead, minimal little girls and boys, minimal college applicants, minimal honor students, and minimal teachers and coaches, but not one. The Constitution doesn't allow for none. That document is living, but will I be?
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for coming. We often start our discussion of school shootings with Columbine, and that's not for no reason. Before Columbine, yes, there were plenty of school shootings, but exactly one of those shootings was comparable in number of casualties to the ones we see today. The University of Texas tower shooting on August 1st, 1966, where 17 people were shot down with a hunting rifle. This weapon was not automatic or semi-automatic, and it was shot by a military-trained sharpshooter. That's much different than anything we see in school shootings today. Columbine is the next school shooting in U.S. history with anything close to that number of victims, 15 to be exact. Littleton, Colorado, April 20th, 1999. Both of the guns used in that attack were semi-automatic. Virginia Tech, April 16th, 2007, 23 killed. Both weapons, again, semi-automatic. Sandy Hook, December 14th, 2012, 6 years and 4 months ago today. 23 killed with 3 semi-automatic guns. And then there's Parkland, 1 month ago, 17 killed with an AR-15. These tragedies are getting more frequent and more deadly, and that trend must be stopped. And we can't forget the other 269 school shootings since Columbine. Yesterday, there was a school shooting at Great Mills High School in Maryland. 2 weeks ago today, a 17-year-old aspiring nurse who had just been accepted to college was shot in an Alabama high school. Police reported this shooting as an accident. No motive, no mental disturbance, just death that we're letting slide because many Americans refuse to face this issue that faces us. Last week in Birmingham, Alabama, a group of 6th graders wrote wills on loose leaf in class in case they were to die in a school shooting. PlayStation 4 plus controllers plus the games that go with it. My cat, my TV, my Xbox, and the other stuff that goes with it. Hoverboard. 6th grader Javon Davies listed as his most prized possessions that would be left to his best friend Cameron. He also included the following note. Dear family, I love you all. You gave me the clothes on my back and you stuck with me all the time. Love, Javon. A 6th grader should not have to think about what would happen if he or she died in school. No one should ever have to think about what would happen if he or she died in school. That's why today, and every Wednesday for the next couple months, students across Massachusetts are heading to the State House in Boston to demand action on Massachusetts Extreme Risk Protection Order, currently Bill H3610, an act temporarily preventing firearm access for extremely dangerous or suicidal individuals. This is one of the first steps to comprehensive gun control, even further than what we currently have in Massachusetts, one of the best in the nation, to make our schools, our cities, and our lives safe. Another step that we can take right now is to register to vote. Julia asked how many of you are 16 or older. I want you to raise your hands again right now. Keep your hand up if you're registered to vote. Put it down if you're not. Those people who just put their hands down, I want you to take out your phones right now. Take out your phones and open your messages. Start a new text. Text P2P to 788-683. That's the letter P, the number 2, the letter P. Text that to the phone number 788-683. 788-683. Everybody get that? Raise your hand if you didn't get that, but you want it. All right. Letter P, the number 2, and the letter P again is your text to 788-683. This will start the process to register to vote. It'll ask you for your email address and your zip code, and then it'll send you a link to finish the process. This way, whenever you turn 18, or if you're already 18, you'll be registered to vote, whether in the election this November or the election in 2020 or 2022. Maybe you'll vote yes on comprehensive gun control laws that'll make the world a safer place. Sorry, my hands are numb. It's kind of hard to flip the paper. Because we are not safe right now. But with our incessant activism, maybe one day we will be. Thank you. I want to also read a poem by a Parkland student. This poem is called None of This Is Normal by Jenna Harris. I haven't written about it yet, maybe because writing was one of the things that felt normal to me. But nothing about this feels normal. Seeing my classmates on the news, being asked for interviews, having celebrities tweet my town's name, none of it feels normal. While in the closet, my body shook uncontrollably. I held the hands of my friends and tried to hold in my tears because I didn't want to think about who wouldn't see their loved ones these following years. My heart is racing. My insides are aching. I'm angry. I'm sad. But I am grateful that I am alive, and I am hungry for change. And for my school, my community, I'm filled with so much pride. None of this feels normal. But with a broken heart, I know all of this is true. And for each angel that was brutally ripped from us, everything from now on is for you. Thank you.
All right, it is now time for our minute of silence to honor the 17 victims that were horrifically killed on February 14th, 2018 in Parkland, Florida at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. The victims were teenagers. They were teachers. They were the same as us, but still so different because we get to live another day. They don't. These children and adults had hopes and dreams of changing the world, and while we cannot give them that opportunity back, we can give them this: 1 full minute of silence. We ask during this that you do not talk, but instead you think to yourself about the 17 victims we lost just over a month ago. We ask that you link arms with a friend or a teacher, if you're comfortable, to show the world that Framingham stands united against gun violence, and that we say, never again. We ask that you stand tall and are proud of yourself for saying, enough is enough. We will not lose one more student, one more teacher, one more child. On the count of 3, we're all going to be silent. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. Please take the words that we spoke today to heart and continuously fight for what's right. The last thing that we ask you to do is that while you're on your way back to class, tell someone you love them, either through a call, a text, a Facebook message. This message can be to your mom, your dad, your cousin, your grandma, your best friend. The 17 victims didn't get a chance to say that they love them, but we do. Thank you.